They worked in tandem and saved a teenager who had planned to take his own life. These two deputies stopped something that has become a bit of a rising statistic in our state: suicide. WRL's Chelsea Donovan shares their story and the crucial training that helped them save a life.
It's roughly a 25-foot drop.
Gotten a call for a check on welfare for someone sitting on the bridge, and I noticed that it was a juvenile.
It was the night of June 25th.
First thing I asked him was what was his name, just so we can get on a more personable level.
Deputy Anthony Garcia tried to talk to the 15-year-old boy on the ledge of this guardrail, but there was a barrier.
I was actually coming from the grocery store. I decided to do a U-turn. I noticed that the juvenile was getting some calls and the names were in Spanish.
Garcia didn't speak Spanish, but luckily Sergeant Collado did. Even off duty, he was in the right place at the right time.
He just told me that he has been there for everybody else, but at that moment he just felt alone.
The two deputies worked together, listening, learning.
We are trained to deal with crisis.
That training that kicked in is called CIT, or Crisis Intervention Training.
We teach them to just take your time and listen to the person.
CIT was brought to the state back in 2005. It's a de-escalation tactic, especially vital in mental health situations.
We call it an extra tool on your tool belt.
In our state, more than 11,000 officers and more than 2,400 first responders and telecommunicators are CIT certified, including Sergeant Collado.
Our job every day is to go out there and help the person in need, whatever that need is.
The training is crucial as the state says suicides are on the rise. They tell me that 4 people die each day from suicide in our state.
Suicide deaths accounted for almost 10% of deaths investigated by the medical examiner in 2022. There was a 12.2% increase in deaths certified as suicide in 2022 versus the year before. Back at the Buffalo Road Bridge, what could have added to that statistic, thankfully, was thwarted.
So I decided to just put my hands on his shoulder.
Within time, the teenager slowly climbed off the edge of the bridge.
How vital do you think that CIT training was for you in that moment?
It's critical because sometimes you don't understand what a person in a crisis is dealing with.
A success story that ended with a life saved.
So he has plenty of life to live.
Training that worked.
A little bit of compassion, a little bit of empathy goes a long way.
And a confirmation.
I felt relief.
Chelsea Donovan, WRL News, Wake County.
If you or anyone you know is having a mental health challenge or thoughts of suicide or even just going through a crisis, a lifeline is ready to help 24/7. Just dial 988.
Wow.